Hello, everybody. It's great to be here. It's great that you are all here. Otherwise, I would be standing in front of an empty room. And I think that's the first moment today that I'm really happy that the sun is gone. So that we have a little bit of contrast here. So yeah, today I want to talk a bit about what I do think about what AI will do to my discipline, user experience design, and generally product development at all. So this presentation is fresh off the press. So I did the first practice talk after lunch today. So please bear with me if it's not perfect. So to introduce myself, my name is Wolf. I'm working at OTTO. I've been at OTTO for the last 15 years. Currently, I'm lead UX designer for the B2B part of the OTTO platform. Besides OTTO, quite recently, I'm collaborating with Barcelona-based Ally to bring product discovery workshops to other companies. And also, some of you might know it, I'm also founder of the German product and UX blog produktbezogen.de. So we are talking about the future today. So when talking about the future, I have to read a short disclaimer to you. Just kidding. This is the disclaimer. Please keep in mind when I tell you my thoughts about the future that this is an opinion piece. I do speak to a lot of diverse people. I do read a lot. I do experiment a lot. I have 20 years of industry experience, so I can see patterns, yet this has not been validated. That has not been, I didn't do deep market research. So if anything I tell you will not happen in the future, please don't come for me. So yeah, let's talk a bit of AI. And yeah, if the last 2 years, 1 or 2 years, yeah, if you're looking at AI, if you're thinking about AI, the world feels a bit like this. So every time I open LinkedIn, I feel like this, because it feels like everybody is already master of hundreds of agents and stuff. And yeah, on the one hand, I think this is really exciting. It's exciting times, but on the other hand, it can feel very overwhelming. But nevertheless, I think it's important to discuss about a future. And so here's my little contribution to that. So I will tell you in this presentation about 5 things that I think will happen eventually, 2 things that I personally would like to happen, and then I have 4 things that you can individually do to prepare yourself for the future. And if you count and add this up, this goes to 11, and this was announced at 9 perspectives. Now you get 11 perspectives, so you get 2 extra. Now you know I'm working in e-commerce. So yeah, I think we really need to discuss this, and I would like to add my perspectives to this discussion. And personally, I'm an optimist, so I would like to do an optimistic perspective on the future. But if you're interested in the pessimistic perspective of the future, stay tuned for my other presentation on Let's Bow Down to Our New Machine Overlords, coming in 5 years. But back to the original topic. So in the first part, I would like to talk about things that I think will happen eventually. And first, I would like to talk about roles, how roles will change. And I mean, we already experienced some changes. We have already we have already product managers who are creating designs. We have designers who are creating code, and developers who are creating PRDs and stuff, and so on. And yeah, what we see today is that AI enables people to produce artifacts that beforehand needed special training or special software, and you just get that with a click. Yet, what important is to understand here is you should never mistake the artifacts a role creates for the full value contribution that role does. So for an example, a product manager creates more value than a PRD or a Jira ticket you could create with a prompt. A designer creates more value than a design comp that you can create with a prompt. A developer creates more value than a page of source code you could create with a prompt. When people say a role can be replaced by AI, in general, these people don't have a really good understanding of what that role really does. Yet, I do think roles will start to intersect more in the future, simply due to the wide accessibility of synthetic skills, I would say. And personally, I think we should embrace that. We shouldn't start to build walls around our disciplines and prevent other people from stepping on our territory. I do think we should embrace that, working together with other roles more closely, get more understanding of each other, and so to find new forms of collaboration so we can solve the problems of our customers better. Looking especially at what happened to us UX designers, I do believe what we will see is a split of roles. Looking at the value stream of product development from problem to validated solutions, I think, or produced solution, I think some designers who are already pretty close in product teams, working closely with developers, will even move further into code, further into production, learning, and with AI help, learning to code. Or developers, front-end developers, will maybe move a bit more into designing. So we will see probably the rise of something like a design engineer role or something like that, that's living at the intersection between design and development. And yes, I think that's a pretty good development, because the rise of the full-stack developer brought us a sort of a vacuum at the front-end development part, because most full-stack developers, very sadly, aren't very good at front-end development, at least in my experience. Yeah, so I think that new role will be quite exciting. Other designers, I think, will move up the value stream, out from the teams, more into general holistic product discovery, working on a more strategic or overarching level, and creating, maybe syncing a bit more with service design and customer experience parts, and trying to generally define the product, from a more holistic and general view. And I think that's where design was before we moved everybody to the product teams. And I think that's a good thing. We will get this role back. I mean, there are already designers who are working like that, but I think this split will deepen. Yes. Last thing, and I think the good news is we might see roles changing. We might see roles getting unbundled and or rebundled. And what will stay is the perspectives you need when you want to build a good product. Here are the four product risks by Marty Kagan: the value risk, feasibility risk, usability risk, and viability risk. And I think to build great products, you still need people, and distinct people, who represent perspectives to find the right way, to the sweet spot here to build great products. So you will need people who can wear the user hat, the product hat, the tech hat, or the business hat. Coming to the next point, speaking about tools, I think, yes, that feels pretty obvious, but established tools will struggle. And as a designer, when I'm speaking about tools, I'm especially speaking about this tool, which is sort of the gorilla in the room for digital product design. Yeah, Figma, as you can see, is lacking an answer how it will keep to dominate the design market of the future. And as you can see, Figma lost 85% of its market capitalization in the last year. And if you're looking at what Figma did, they created Figma Make, but that doesn't feel very integral to what Figma did in general, and it feels more a bit Frankenstein to the true product. And I understand why people don't trust in Figma to tackling this new world, because when you're looking at what we have in new products, we have Lovable, that's been around for some time already. We got quite recently Google Stitch in the new version, and only 1.5 weeks ago we got Claude Design. And these are just 3 examples of how designs or wireframes or prototypes will be created in the future. And I think having a software that's there to paint pictures of software program isn't probably that what we really need in the future. We had this discussion when we discussed AI at OTTO, and someone of us said, hey, maybe in the future we will prompt our Figma designs. And then I thought about that and said, no, why do we need to prompt paintings of something? Because when we could work with the material of our true product, we could work with code. If we can prompt that, why do anybody needs a painting of that? And so yeah, here on the right side, you see a screenshot of Claude Code and Terminal, which I used last week to create a prototype. It was a very steep learning curve, but then it created an awesome prototype. I was very happy with that. Yeah, I do think we still need some way to work visually. You can't just work in code. Sometimes you have to explore visually. But I don't think in the most cases you really need something, a tool that does pixel-perfect designs. You can work in Miro or any other tool to create wireframes and then give that to the AI and it's perfect. There will be a space for something like Figma where you can create pixel-perfect stuff if you're like if you're creating your visual identity, if you're creating your design system, you might want to really do the fine-tuning. And so there will be a place for Figma, but it will be a way smaller place than Figma has today. Speaking of design systems will bring me to my next point. I do think that design systems will thrive in the future. Because when building production code with AI, you always have the problem if the AI creates everything from scratch. You need a lot of time, you need a lot of tokens, and the code can be very wonky and here and there very, very different, even though it's the same things. And I do think we generally know that if we're giving the AI a so-called harness, a structure where the AI is, or guardrails where the AI is working, and we can really increase the quality of the results. And so having a design system is in a perfect position of helping the AI to use this design system as a vocabulary. Now the AI doesn't have to think every line of code from scratch, but it simply can wire together your components. And you will get code that will be of very higher quality than you would get if the AI is working from scratch. And you can think that further. You can use your design guidelines as if the design system is a vocabulary. You can use the design guidelines as your grammar. And even you can create design skills that help you do the translation of your concepts to production code. And I think that is a very, very exciting times for people working in design systems, because I think experts will be needed here, because we are facing the task of building high-quality design systems and also to make them machine-readable. Good. I'll take a short drink of water. So that brings me to my next perspective on the future. It's about the democratization of software development. We will see that will happen. So who knows what's so special about this camera? Yeah, it's old. But there are many other old cameras. No, does anybody know? Okay, this is the first Leica camera. And it's not only the first Leica camera, it's the first compact camera the world has seen. And it is responsible for a lot of change that has happened. Because before the first compact camera, getting a photography looked a bit like this. You went to a professional photographer's studio and they had this big full-frame camera and then they took their photo. And suddenly the ability to take a photo was in the hands of everybody. So the Leica camera democratized photography. And suddenly not only the professionals were able to do photographies, but everybody. And yes, that led to a shitload of mediocre photography, but also the democratization of photography put cameras in hands of creative people, made the market larger and led photography to new creative heights. And led photography to the importance it has today. And we did, looking more at software, we already had this moment. In the end of the 90s, I don't know, I don't know if you remember GeoCities. Who remembers GeoCities? Okay, we had a website there. Yay. Yeah, we already see at the end of the 90s when the web democratized publishing that, yeah, we had a very, very creative world, and we got a shitload of mediocre websites, but we laid the foundation of the web we're using today. And I do think this will be happening to software. We will get software produced by anyone. If anyone can produce software, yes, we will get a shitload of mediocre software. But we will also experience software in very new ways nobody has ever thought of. Because now creative people who weren't able to produce software before can do that. Yeah. Now you may ask, okay, software is very complex, it's a very big topic. You need a lot of professionals to produce software, and yes, that is true, but that's not true for all software that's being created. Because you're seeing a new class of software that's just being created for personal use or for the use of small teams, maybe with even limited time of life. Yeah, and for that, you don't need that quality. Yeah, you just need it to solve the problem in a way you can control. And so I think sometimes this works for me is good enough being for software. Yet I still believe we need professional software developers and we need professional software development companies like this here. But I think we will see a change. Yeah, as we still have professional photographers, we will still have professional software developers, but there will be way, way, way more ways to produce software. Now, getting to the fifth perspective, and this is rather a long shot, because I do think users will be slower in adoption than us tech people in producing it, but I do think that the dialogue will expand from a chat window to be somehow the full operating system we're using that. I do think that because dialogue is generally that way since thousands of years where we humans convey our intent to others. And yeah. And so because this is the easiest way to, and our most natural way to communicate and to convey our intent, I think this will be the first way that how we will interact with machines in the future. Now, you might say, okay, not everything is easy to say in words or to do with a prompt, but we already see developments here. Google published A2 UI at the beginning of the year. It's a system where an AI chatbot can produce complex interfaces. So in the event entering something as a prompt will be too difficult, too cumbersome, or simply impossible, it can produce a new UI where you do whatever you need. And so I think we will see this combination of chat and speech interfaces combined with generated UI. So this ends part number 1. Now I come to part 2 with 2 things I really would like to happen. I would really like you all to happen. And the first thing I would really like to happen is I would like to kill the MVP, the minimum viable product. I don't want to kill the MVP as it originally was meant, as a means to validate key assumptions with the minimal possible effort. That's still valuable, and I think it's still a good idea to do that in the AI era. But I would like to kill what lots of companies are using the MVP for, as an excuse to ship half-done crap so teams can quickly move on to the next feature and someone can tick off a box that a feature has been published. Yeah, I know lots of organizations who are working like this, and people are really unhappy. And I would really, really like to use the possibility that we can produce software faster now that we can invest that in quality and not in quantity. And so that at the end, when we face the questions what to do with the more development capacity we have, that we push the right button. You want to take a picture, Niklas? Yes. That's your Instagram moment. Okay. The second thing I think we will need in the future is AI becoming our coworker. Because when looking at something where we are building a product, going from product strategy, where we find the right opportunity, to product discovery, where we find the right solution, and then we sit down and do a prompt, and we very likely get something impressive, but it's not the thing we really needed. Because weeks of strategy work and discovery, all the knowledge you have about your organization and about the operation of the product, you can't convey that in a single prompt. That will never happen. So what we need is something that takes part in the whole process. That's an agent or an AI that's part of the strategy discussion, that's part of the problem understanding, that's part of the user interviews, of the idea production, and then we can use simple prompts to get to the right results. And that, connecting all the stuff we're doing here in teams, in meeting rooms and everything, having that would be a great help to work with AI. So having said that, and coming to the end of the presentation, I have some ideas about what you can do in the future. First thing is prepare for change and prepare for continuous change. Here, the exploding sofa means the comfort zone is probably dead. I think we have to adapt to change even faster than before, and this is not going away. This is not going to blow over, and we have to be prepared. And keep in mind, even if AI doesn't change anything at all, it just makes software development faster. Think about all the software development processes we're using, Agile and you name it. This all revolves around the assumption that developer resources are scarce and expensive. And if that is not a given anymore, everything else can change. And I do think we will see a whole new way of doing software product development in the next years. And so we really need to prepare ourselves for this continuous change. And one thing you should definitely do is, and also Niklas said that, you need to play around. You need to try out different models, different ways of working with AI. Play around as much as you can. Have no fear. Simply try it. Try it with real use cases in a small setting. And even though if your employer doesn't give you the software, maybe spend some money yourself. I mean, you can get 1 year of Cloud Code for like 240 euros or something. And I do think that's really a good investment in your future career. And to have a future career. But no pressure. But please, okay, experiment a lot, read a lot, but stay sane. Find your personal speed. Don't go too much in front of the fire hose at LinkedIn or other places. Do your steps. Don't think that everybody is sitting on a train and is only already far away. That's not really the case. That only feels so if you are on LinkedIn and other places. Third, I would recommend to you to explore AI with diverse perspectives. Don't just do it yourself. Don't just do it as designers together or product managers together, because then you will find only the local optimum. And I think the magic really happens here in the intersection of perspectives and roles. So it's always a good idea, find a friend, find a coworker, if you're a designer, find a developer, and so on, and try to get to work together on things. Try to experiment together, exactly in the intersection on your roles. Try to get people from other companies. Here are some pictures from last Thursday. There at OTTO we met with people from Moja, Vielmann and Tomorrow Bank. and we had a half day of workshop where we talked a bit about a future of AI, and that was very, very inspiring. Yes, we were only designers, but in this way, getting the perspectives of designers from other companies with other products was really, really helpful. So the last thing is, yes, play with AI, but also use AI responsibly, because AI is a huge tax on our ecology. We have this news here that data centers will double their energy consumptions in the next couple of years. So, as you can read, data centers currently account for 1.5% of global energy consumption. If we add another 1.5%, that's adding France. Another France. I don't know if you want another France, but in regard to energy consumption, this is another 1.5%. And also, not only looking at the ecology, always keep in mind that AI has a very strong bias, that there can be hallucinations, that most AI models are in the hands of few powerful people, and always be accountable yourself, always be the judge of what you're doing, also always be critical of what you're thinking. Having said that, still, I think these are exciting times, and I think it's our future, it's still our future to create, and create we should. And I brought you my famous Chinese proverb, which is, when the winds of change blow, some people build walls and others build windmills. And so, please, let's build windmills. Thank you. If you want to know a bit more, part of what I said, most perspectives I said, there's also an article on produktbezogen. There's also a bonus perspective I didn't. So if you want to know why the juniors will strike back, you can read this article. And yeah, if you want to also learn more about product discovery and AI, I will be giving, together with Sabrina from Ally, a free webinar on Thursday, June the 11th. And also, we are offering in-house training for companies to implement product discovery and to implement AI into product discovery. So yeah, if you're interested, let's stay connected. You find all the links on my website. Thank you. Questions?